Welcome to the Clydesdale Media Weight Loss Journey, where Scott does his weekly check-in with nutrition coach Cheryl Nasso every week live on our YouTube channel. Make sure you like and subscribe and hit that notifier so you first know when new episodes come out. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Clydesdale Media Weight Loss Journey. My name is Scott Switch. I'm the Clydesdale. She is my nutrition coach, Cheryl Nasso. You guys know the rest. We've been around a while. Good to see Lex and Judy and Kenneth already in the chat. But we're going to catch up on some nutrition for the week.
Yeah. Well, first off, before we get into nutrition, I will say that I was happy to see a check-in form, see a food diary. And I do see some weights logged, but I think you may have logged them today, correct? Did you kind of go back in and log some things today?
Yeah, I use a whiteboard
Yeah.
and my scale, and then I just grab it and log them all in.
Gotcha. Well, I'm happy that I saw some weights because when I was like, oh man, he hasn't weighed in since when I first saw it, it looked like you had weighed in since last Thursday. And I'm like, okay. So I was hoping that maybe, because I know that sometimes when you're not feeling good, you sleep downstairs. And I was like, maybe we aren't going to have a weight, but happy to see where things are at. So first off, I know what's going on tomorrow. You may have talked about it on your roundtable, but fill everybody in about what tomorrow is bringing for you.
So tomorrow is the cardio conversion. I will go into the hospital 7:30, get prepped. 8:30 is the procedure. They will put a scope down my throat. It is like an ultrasound to see blood clots on the back of my heart. If that is clear, they will then pull the scope out and immediately go into the conversion where they'll shock me with the paddles to try to get the heart back into rhythm.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. So how are you feeling about this whole procedure? Are you nervous about it? Is it pretty safe? It's not super invasive. Is it invasive? Like what's that kind of stuff, risk reward, that kind of thing?
Nothing invasive. I was nervous over the weekend for some reason, but then as it's gotten closer, like this is one of the most common things that is done in medicine.
Yep.
And I've been under anesthesia before. It doesn't affect me greatly, like some people. I just feel very rested after. So looking for a good nap tomorrow morning and hopefully get everything back on track.
Yeah. I love that. Kenneth, I am working on wearing blue blockers because I'm trying to, well, I'm just trying to get myself sleeping better. And I've been told that the blue light can be somewhat funky. So I'm giving them a shot. So yeah, I know I feel like a school teacher right now, but I kind of feel like a school nerd actually. I feel like I look like a nerd in glasses, but I've been fortunate to have good eyesight. Back to you, Scott. So a couple of other things. Happy to hear that this is going to be a pretty non-invasive. And in fact, I was actually doing a little bit more research on A Fib, just because I wanted to understand limitations and all that kind of stuff. What about, I know we talked about your cardiologist, and I know that you had a primary care follow-up with your new doctor on Friday, right?
Correct.
Okay. How is that? You're liking your new primary care?
Liking the new primary care much better than the old. She took a lot of time to explain everything to me in very second grade terms. So I understood what everything was. I told her my plan is to get off as many prescriptions as possible once everything is righted. She was on board for that. But she explained to me that the A Fib is such a big thing and can be a contributor to a lot of the different things that we are dealing with, that we need to get that corrected to see what then corrects itself from the A Fib being corrected. And then what do we need to do going forward?
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. Can I ask you, did the primary care physician or the cardiologist put specific guidelines in place for exercise? Did they tell you what to and to not do?
Not yet, no.
Did you guys have that conversation?
So the primary care physician very much at the end of our conversation said, "There's a lot more we need to talk about, but I don't want it to be so much that you're overwhelmed. I want you to get through next week, and then we're gonna meet again, I think in like 2 weeks."
I gotcha. All right. So I want to kind of dive into that a little bit more, but I want to kind of check a couple of other things first and foremost. So aside from the heart, how are the lungs feeling? The lung infection, the coughing, the pneumonia.
So I've had a little more coughing this week than I did last week. Um, and I talked to the doctor about that because it was increasing even the end of last week. And she explained to me that that could be the A Fib and that we need to get rid of that to know if that is better.
Mhm.
But I can climb stairs better now. I'm not running marathons up there, running sprints up them, but I'm not really super winded at the top of the stairs now.
Got it. Okay. So, as I was saying, I had been doing some research, a little bit more deep diving into A Fib. I mean, I've heard of it happening. It was happening to my grandfather, in the later years of his life, and it is common when people do have infections and stuff like that, or when they're in the early stages of like congestive heart failure. But yours, I think, was triggered secondary to something else. And this is a condition that people actually have to live with. Like AFib is not this thing where some people actually live with AFib. It's not something that they can avoid. And everything that I am reading about AFib tells you that you should be moving, that you should be doing some form of activity. It just should not be in a way that drives your heart rate up. So, like it says, and I've read a few different research studies and things, is saying that you want to be doing things like walking, very light cycling, even lightweight training that doesn't raise your heart rate is all actually indicated for like to help with things. And so that's why I was asking if you had that conversation with your doctor because of what I had been reading about.
So I misunderstood you. I thought you meant after this procedure is done.
Mhm.
But they have told me not to do anything that raises my heart rate at all
Okay.
because of the stroke risk and the other things going on. And that the fact that when I went into the hospital, my rate was at 150, and it took them a lot to get it down to normal.
Okay. That's what I was asking about. If they had talked to you about that, because I'm like, okay, because what's the worst case scenario here? What if when we have this procedure, nothing changes? Like I just wanted to kind of know what that looks like. And I guess you guys haven't had that conversation in terms of that. So we're trying to hopefully see how things go tomorrow, correct?
Correct. And then there is a more invasive procedure that is the next step
Hmm.
if the conversion does not go
Got it.
well.
Did they go over any of the things that they might have think that would have triggered the AFib? Like, did she talk about things that might have triggered it?
She thinks it's been the stuff with my lungs.
Okay, so the lung infection. That's kind of what I was thinking too, because like I said, usually when people have like pulmonary issues, like lung infect, like congestive heart failure, anything kind of with it, it just tends to be the AFib stuff. That's why it typically happens in more elderly or sedentary people, typically not in people like you that I would think of. But so it's rare. I mean, it can happen to somebody in their, it says early 20s could have it happen to them randomly. So hopefully we'll get some answers there. How about your blood sugar? How's that been?
So it's been bouncing between 140 and 170.
Okay.
The other thing is so I was taking it a lot. When I got out of the hospital, they told me to take it 4 times a day. She's like, "That's dumb. You're only taking insulin once a day, and that's the only one that matters is your fasted blood sugar in the morning after taking the insulin at night."
Yeah.
So now that I'm taking it just in the morning, it's more consistent.
And it's still been
Um,
between 140 and 170?
yeah, but it
Okay.
was at 380, remember, at the hospital.
Yeah. Okay.
So and she wants it under 130 is what we're striving for.
Yeah. I mean, prior to all this, your blood sugar was in a pretty good range. Like, I don't think you were having
Right.
your last labs were decent. All right, so we're gonna go through your check-in. I got your check-in form. Yay. So couple of things you guys can do. Scott's win for the week. He logged all of his food, he kept his fiber up and slept well. Feeling a lot better. And I have actually been kind of like looking at your food diary almost daily just to kind of see, kind of like, is he logging things? Is he checking in? Because I've been wanting to keep on your ass, and you've been doing a pretty good job of it. I know you mentioned you had a couple of meals out with friends. Is that right?
Yeah.
Chinese and Mexican the other 2 nights. Were those just like, let me see what you logged first and foremost. See, Thursday looks like you were at home.
It
Friday.
was Friday night. Steamed cabbage, spinach, and like a brisket
Yeah,
type
that
thing.
wasn't a bad choice. That was at a Mexican restaurant?
Yeah. Or no, that was Chinese.
Okay.
Very authentic Chinese.
Okay. All right. And then you had Saturday was home, it looks like maybe.
Yep.
Had a burger and a hot dog, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And then Sunday was home, or was that was the Mexican day?
That was home.
Okay.
Last night was out.
I got it. The chicken enchiladas. I think you
Correct.
probably did a pretty decent job of logging that too. So your fat intake is still sitting high, but a lot of that is because of your eating out a couple of days. Like the days that you're at home, not as much as it was like Saturday, Monday. So how has the gut stuff been going, the burping and all that stuff?
It's better.
Okay.
Um, I still have an occasional episode, but it's getting much better.
Yeah. I think we really got to keep working on getting that fat intake down. And that's going to help, I think, with that. Because, like I said, I mentioned last time, and your doctor mentioned you want to also look at the gallbladder too. And excess fat is just putting more stress on the gallbladder. So I know that it tends to be still within your calorie intake, but like a lot of your days, you're hitting 100 grams of fat on Thursday. So and I know, like I said, the other days you were, eating out, and sometimes it's just harder to control that. You got to do the best you can. But I'm looking at all the variables. So you did a really good job, though, of tracking everything. And like you mentioned, you got the fiber in, which I love. So um, let's see. I just want to double check one more thing. All right, cool. All right, back to your check-in form. You're getting in plenty of water. You're weighing your food out. No alcohol, which is always good. Steps are low, which is what I would expect. You did mention that your appetite is up. So are you getting more hungry throughout the day?
I feel like I am. And I'm incorporating more snacks than I have in a long time.
Mhm.
Um, so that's what I'm hoping is taking care of that.
Okay. I know you mentioned that you're not feeling better, but I would honestly say I think you are making improvements.
No, I said I'm feeling better.
Okay. Some
Like
friends
I'm able to do more.
okay.
I just
You want to be better. You want to feel better.
Yeah, and I still cough more than I want to. And yeah.
Yeah. I
And
can
like riding in a car is very hard for me right now.
Yeah, I can relate
Like
to that. It's like it's not that you're not making progress, it's just you wish it was a little bit better than it is. And I'm hoping that and praying that tomorrow things go the way that we want them to so that you can start making progress again, in areas. So I think that I know it's hard, like you're the kind of person that, and we're going to talk more about some other stuff, but I wanted to just kind of check in on you, that kind of stuff. Um, you're getting tired throughout your day, getting sleepy. So I think that might be, do you think that you're sleeping well throughout the night? Like, I know that you sleep a lot when you're sleeping, but do you think that you're getting into a deep sleep?
I think I am for small chunks.
Yeah.
I think I do my night in 2 phases, like a 10 to 2 and then like a 3:30 to 7.
Okay. Because that could be affecting things. And I honestly think that you know, the main thing is that when we can get you back to moving a little bit more, I think your energy is going to come up. I think you're going to start to feel a little bit better. I think your sleep is going to get a little bit better. It's funny because I sent this post to one of my friends, one of my clients who was kind of struggling with like feeling a little burned out from working out, and she just hasn't been able to get back into a routine. And I'm like, listen, and I just found a post that I just happened to be scrolling through and I saw, and it was like something along the lines of people wait for the energy and the desire to feel good enough to work out, and they don't realize how working out makes them feel so much better. And I think that right now where you're at is you're at that place of like you don't feel as energized because you can't work out, because you can't move your body the way that you're intended to. You and I both know that when we're working out, like it's such a mood boost. It's such a it makes you feel better. It makes you everything is better when you can, work out. That's why no matter what, I feel like I will always do 2 sessions a day, only because I like to start my day with movement. I usually do like an hour or so of work, maybe 2 hours. And then all right, time to, I finish my coffee. I do something to kind of get my body moving. And I'm just so much more productive, but I just can't lift heavy in the morning. I don't know how Lex does it. I think Lex is an early morning girl. I don't know how she does that first thing in the morning, lifting heavy barbells and stuff.
Like super early.
Yeah, I just can't. I mean, I'm up early, but I work. That's why I work for a little bit first. And then I'm like, all right, now I can eat some breakfast and get some movement in and really start to dive into things. But I can't. The lifting heavy, 5, 6 a.m., not going to work for me. But so yeah, I mean, I feel like everything movement wise is on hold until after tomorrow. When is your follow up with the cardiologist or your primary care to recheck the heart and see how things have worked? Or are they doing, or will it be something they know right away?
I think they'll know right away.
Okay.
Um, and then I'll probably meet with the cardiologist tomorrow, after the procedure. So I'll probably know more then. And then like I said, my primary care is 2 weeks from now, but she won't do an EKG to know. It's like that'll all be through the cardiologist.
Okay. I think that my main question for you is to leave the doctor tomorrow with a clear understanding of what movement you are cleared for. Hey, am I able to walk? Am I able to be on my cycle bike and move a little bit? Am I able to do some basic body weight strength movements as long as, my heart rate stays in under a certain, rate or whatever? Am I able to do these things because I know that my physical and mental health, like I feel better when I move. So we can kind of start to see what we're cleared for and what that looks like, because that's going to be the next step is figuring out, okay, what can we get you doing? Because I think that not doing anything is just not good for the body either. So, and I want to get you feeling better. So I would make sure that tomorrow you leave without like not leaving without asking that question, so and he's probably not going to expect that from you, but I think it is an important question to ask.
Yeah, I'm anxious for that. Again, I've had so many listeners reach out to me that have had this and been through this. And some of them have really voiced concerns with they had a hard time getting back to CrossFit, and to not have my mind set on that it might be something different for now.
Yeah, and listen, it's not you, but here's the deal is I'm going to take a step back and say when people say they can't get back to CrossFit, what they really mean is they can't get back to pushing the intensity and hitting it so hard that they're like lying flat on their back. You have limitations. You cannot get your heart rate up right now. We know that. That doesn't mean you can't do CrossFit. It doesn't mean you can't still do some basic strength training, do some biking. Does it need to be modified? Absolutely. But I think when people, I was literally post about CrossFit today because I think people don't understand what they're saying when they say CrossFit. CrossFit is as simple as like, I put a barbell on my back today and I did 5x5 back squats. And I didn't go too heavy because I wasn't feeling it. That's CrossFit. CrossFit is also sometimes, yeah, doing the high intensity stuff, but we can do other things. It's going to be very modified. And I know that I think that getting you back in the gym, but having some clear cut expectations of what your workouts need to look like, you might be walking from station to station and doing ring rows and doing lunges at a very slow and controlled pace. But guess what? You can still do the workouts. And that's really important. I don't want you to walk away and think, oh, I just can't do these things. I think that people don't understand that it's not, well, I think it's just human nature. What are CrossFitters? CrossFitters are just so conditioned to go so hard all the time that they miss the whole purpose of CrossFit, which is keeping you well, keeping you out of the nursing home. And it's the stuff that people are like, oh, Greg Glassman got away from the sport of fitness. No, he was also trying to cater to the fact that he wanted people to be healthy and happy. And it wasn't just about the sport. So trust me, I'm all about the competitive side of things. I love it. I love competition. I love pushing myself. In fact, I had to do a 2K time trial this morning, and let me tell you, I was like hating CrossFit for about from last night till today. I was like, why do I do this to myself? But I had to tell myself, if I ain't feeling it, I'm just gonna go at a moderate pace. I gave myself that out, but I didn't do that. I hit it. So, anyways, I'm gonna set it now. Let you talk back to me.
Yeah. I think the entire chat is backing you, that everything is infinitely scalable and that CrossFit includes everything just at different levels. So, yeah.
I love Corey's message. These ring muscle ups will definitely keep me out of the nursing home. Yeah, well, you never know when you might fall and break a leg and need to use your arms to get yourself back up. So could happen. In fact, my grandfather fell and landed on his hip. If my grandfather was strong enough to, and that was actually what ended up killing him because that's when he got sick. If he was actually strong enough to pull himself up, he might have been in a different boat. So bad memories, but also a reminder of why the people that can do muscle ups in their 60s are likely not going to have those problems. So I'm looking at some of the comments that we've been kind of talking back and forth just to kind of see. And Corey was being 100% serious. I would agree. All right. So plan this week. All right. Your weight is right around 292. I don't foresee a lot of movement on the scale very quickly. Your appetite is coming back. So I really think that this week we really just got to push. I know you mentioned protein's been a bit of a struggle. Let me just kind of take a look. But you've also, I think the main reason is because you had a couple of days where you were eating out, and that really, I think, affects everything. Whenever you have to eat at restaurants, it's always a lot harder. You also did say that you've been getting hungrier for snacks, so we can also work on building in some higher protein snacks that will also really help as well. So can we think of maybe some high protein snacks that you could utilize? I do see you doing the jerky, which is good. Hard boiled egg whites, even you could do that. Anything deli turkey on rice cakes, or even in like one of those Joseph's pitas. Anything like that to kind of add some protein into your snacks is going to be helpful. You can make whey protein smoothies. You can make protein. One of my clients wanted some protein bar recipes, and I just sent her a bunch of like easy protein desserts and snacks and all that kind. You like Greek yogurt? I don't know. It all depends on, are you team sweet or team salty when it comes to snacks? So you have to know what you're in the mood for to kind of plan your snacks out. So I think that that's where we can really get a little bit more protein in.
Yeah, I am definitely team salty, not sweet. So
Okay.
I've been trying to do Greek yogurt. I am not a huge Greek yogurt fan. I do need to have some fruit or something in it.
Have
So
you tried
that's
the Chobani zero sugar vanilla?
so I use the Too Good vanilla honey,
Okay.
zero sugar, and I like it fine. But I'm never going to love Greek yogurt.
Well, what I was going
Um,
to say is if you take that and you add a little bit of vanilla protein powder to it, and you could even add sugar-free Cool Whip and make like a bigger bowl. And then you can top that with like berries and a little bit of like multigrain Cheerios and make like a parfait. That's a really easy, like low calorie, higher protein snack. You can bake with Greek yogurt. So I've seen people, there's like there's a brand Pillsbury makes a devil's food zero sugar if you like sweets cupcake, and you can use just using Greek yogurt and that to make a little cupcake. But Team Salty, I think that the turkey jerky is good. I think things like deli turkey is also good. There's a really easy recipe for a cottage cheese pizza dip, which is really good. If you don't like cottage cheese because of the texture, just whip it first so that you don't get the little chunks. But you mix that with a little bit of fat-free mozzarella, marinara sauce, turkey pepperoni, and then you can dip that in some like I'll take one of those Joseph's lavash and you can cut it into strips, toast them, and then you've got a high fiber chip that you can dip the cottage cheese dip in, which is really good. You can even make like a little homemade like pizza if you like salty, like almost like little bagel bites using those pitas. I love those Joseph's pitas. I use them. Another snack I've been doing. Do you like you're muted?
I just got 2 packages of the lavash,
Yeah, those
Joseph's
are good.
lavash.
Do you like tuna? And like do you like tuna salad and chicken salad?
I like tuna.
I've been doing one of my snacks right now has been taking tuna salad instead of using mayo. I use non-fat plain Greek yogurt, a little bit of Dijon mustard, and I don't know, I'm probably weird, but growing up we always put pickle in our tuna. So I always put diced pickle in mine and I mix it all up, salt, pepper, and I put that on a toast pita. It's really good. Like that's all ways to get more protein in that are salty as well. I
Yeah,
think you
I'll try that. I've tried that before. I like olives in my tuna instead of pickles,
you can do
but
that. That's they're not super high in fat. As long as you're switching out the mayo, you'll be fine. So, but use
okay.
the best non-fat yogurt to use when you're making it for like tuna or anything like that is the Faye brand non-fat. It's a little bit thicker and creamier. That works really well. You can use that to make tuna salad, chicken salad. In fact, you could even make like a high protein like macaroni salad with that. You could use some of that and like using like a whole wheat pasta. It would be an easy lunch if you want something a little bit different. Those are great like summertime foods. I grew up, we used to have a quote unquote salads night, like very American. We would have like tuna salad, egg salad, which I never liked egg salad. And then we would have like macaroni salad and potato salad and all friggin' tons of mayo and everything. But yeah, those are good little easy snacks. I think you would like the pizza dip and an easy tuna. That's like those are two. The tuna is very satiating. When I eat that, it's like, okay, I gotta, make sure because I'm on the opposite end of the spectrum. I'm on the gains train. So I have to make sure when I do that, I don't do the low carb pitas. I do the regular pitas just because I'm trying to get a little bit more carbs in, not lower.
Yeah,
All right.
I actually like tuna just out like the pouches. I'll just eat it right out of the pouch.
Yeah, see, I don't like it like that. It's just not my thing. I don't know. So, this week I want you to kind of focus on trying to stay, because I want to get your blood sugar down. And I know that right now your appetite's coming back, but as much as you can, I want you to try and stay as close to your numbers as you can. You're at 185 protein, 185 carbs, and 65 fats, just because right now you're just not moving a whole bunch. And when it comes to like talking about insulin, trying to improve insulin sensitivity, people focus so much on carbs. And what it really is it's not carbs in isolation, it's calories. So if I have you in a little bit of a calorie deficit, that's going to make you more insulin sensitive. Your body's going to have to burn through stored fuel. So that's why I want you to be a little bit closer to those numbers. Remembering again, you don't have to be a macro perfectionist, but like at least 165 grams of protein up to 205. Like I'm okay with that range. Same thing on carbs, 165 to 205. One day you might not be as hungry. One day you might be a little bit more hungry. Okay, we're giving you a bigger ballpark there and really trying to keep the fat under 80 this week. And that's going to really, I think, double down on everything. So you might want to do a little bit of pre-planning, especially around dinner time, and I know that it's hard. Listen, the other thing I'm going to say is I know it's hard because you're also trying to keep your relationship into consideration and you want to make everybody happy. But right now your health is a concern. So I think that your wife is likely going to understand that you have some dietary restrictions right now.
Yeah.
And isn't she? She's also,
She's
yeah,
doing very well.
good.
It's been more me this week with, like, I've just been stuck in my house. And the reason I went out to eat twice was just to see some people because I've been kind of alone
Yep.
for a week. So um, just needed to see some people, and I had to meet them where they were.
And that's also why I want to get you back to the gym because I feel like you need to be around people. I do think that. In fact, my mood this week, because I've been getting back into the gym, I know I'm a happier person when I'm around those people. Like I really am a much happier person. Even if I'm not, and I actually took class because they were doing the same workout as me, which was fun. But I love when obviously I can jump into class and all that kinds of stuff. So yeah, I want to hear more
Yeah.
about the doctor's appointment tomorrow. So yeah, just kind of looking at where you're at metabolically, calorie wise. I think that the amount of calories that you have in there, even if you're over a little bit, you're in a good spot. So um I
I
honestly,
feel,
yeah.
I know the weight hasn't like jumped a bunch this week, but I feel way less puffy.
Yeah.
Um, like I feel like that's kind of coming off. So
Well, that's all the inflammation. Like think about how inflamed your body was. All that stuff going on, the blood sugar being off, all of that stuff was out of whack. Like your body's been under a constant state of stress, and they probably didn't even check like your cortisol levels, but that was probably off, like there's probably a bunch of other things that were off. So your body's regulating a little bit. That's why I was asking about clearance on things. So I think that, keeping your numbers within range and then tomorrow, kind of like letting us know what the doctor clears you for would be good. And, Carolyn did make a good point about mobility. I know we had talked about that. Are you doing anything for mobility right now?
I am.
Okay. All right. Are you following a program or just kind of stretching throughout your day?
I am following the mobility movement app.
Okay. All right. As long as you're doing something, I tend to get lax on my mobility and I know my body feels it when I'm not. So Bruce just asked about, you know, the pedaling. Not right now, Bruce. He's still not cleared for that, guys. And guys, the sauna, I mean, I don't really think the sauna is going to help with anything that he's going through right now. I mean, I'll be honest, it's great for like loosening things up, but I don't think the sauna is really going to be helpful for anything right now. In fact, it actually might make your heart stress a little bit more. I think
Yeah.
that any extreme temperatures, hot or cold, wouldn't be good right now. So,
And everything's going to change tomorrow morning.
yep.
So, so we'll know more then.
Yeah.
Uh,
About Legos.
so I finished the Chicago Bears helmet, other than the face mask, but it's so fragile. I have to glue it as I put it together.
Mm,
Once I'm done with that, I do have the Bear Stadium, the old Soldier Field, that I'm going to work on,
yeah. Well,
and that's really just to get my mind like off of everything.
yeah. I think that what you could do is put some work into your podcast, like, put some more stuff into the things that you love doing, like while you're thinking about things, get yourself out of the weeds, get some sleep,
Yeah.
you know.
I think I need something to de-stress from the podcast though too.
Okay.
And I
That's
think the
what you
Legos
want.
have become that.
Well, that's good.
And yeah, it's not like I sit down and like hammer through it. I do a couple rows a day, which is kind of cool because every day it's a little bit more built than it was the day before.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I still have to get back into puzzling, but I also needed to start working on de-stressing, and I've not been doing that very well. Um, I just feel like every time I tell myself I'm gonna just sit and watch a movie or do something, I'm like, oh, I want to do this instead. So like I'm starting a new Facebook group, one that has not been put out yet, and I'm not going to talk about it just yet. I'm very excited for this Facebook group, but it's coming. That's all you want to know. So,
So
yeah,
Bruce asked about sun. We had some sun yesterday. We had some sun this morning, but in the north right now, it's pretty hit or miss what we get.
yeah. They were talking about float tanks. It's funny because I want a gift card for a float tank and I haven't used it yet. And I'm very curious about using the float tanks. I've just not actually used my gift card yet. I probably should go check it out. Haven't really heard good or bad about them, but I just was curious if you guys have had any experience on them. But anyways, so yeah, I think this week getting your calories a little closer, macros, I should say, which I think just really just comes down to planning a little bit more ahead. You actually did pretty good most days. I think it's just really looking at dinner time ahead of time, and just make sure that you're reading the labels on things. You tend to eat quite a bit of fat at breakfast time. You might want to go back to doing one egg plus egg whites just in case later in the day you're getting more fat from other things. So that's the only other.
So yeah, a lot of people are asking about cooking. I'm a very good cook. I used to be a cook professionally. We do a lot of that. But it's been a long discussion on this podcast about how I have to meet my wife halfway.
Yeah. I would just tell your wife that
For
your dinner.
dinner,
Yeah.
for dinner specifically.
Yeah. And like I told you, just tell your wife dinners have to be high protein, lower fat. Much as you can, wifey. Can you make that happen? She'll be like,
Yeah.
stop being a pain in my butt. So Wad Zombie wants to send you some Legos, and Corey wants a Cooking with Clydesdale segment. I like the way that sounds. Cooking with Clydesdale?
I've thought about that a couple times,
Yeah.
doing that. I just don't have like the big kitchen to be able to like get cameras in there
I know.
but maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
I hate
Wad
editing.
Zombie, you're the man.
Yeah, gifted 5 Clydesdale media memberships. What does that mean?
Memberships to the channel.
I don't know what that means.
That's so you can become a member of the Clydesdale Media YouTube channel. It helps support us and getting out to all the events and doing what we do, paying for the platform that we use to get on here. And yeah, Wad Zombie's been a member for 16 months. We sent the original group that joined, we sent them a C4 welcome pack where C4 like gifted them a couple cases of C4
Oh, that's awesome.
and some different stuff like that. And we'll probably come up with something. Kenneth asked about merch. We are looking at doing new merch. And we are looking at getting a sponsor that is an apparel company. And he will be selling our merch. So that way we'll be able to do more. And if you're a member, you'll probably get a benefit toward the merch if you're a member. So
That's really
but
cool.
we try to give extras where we can for the members when we have sponsors and stuff like that. So we're working on a couple sponsors. Hopefully we'll have a couple in the next few weeks.
Yeah. So last thing, because this week we're going to focus on a little bit tighter on the nutrition, keeping up with your weigh-ins. How are you feeling about, are you planning on going over to Polaris for the open events, Friday Night Lights? Do they do anything over there? Are you going to go?
So this weekend is the Arnold here in Columbus.
Okay.
And our new sponsor, our new apparel sponsor, is going to be there. And so we're looking at doing some stuff with him. The team, Charlie and Jamie, are definitely going to be there this weekend doing interviews live. And our new sponsors making a podcast area in their booth.
Okay.
So we can do them live at the Arnold. And then whenever he's at an event, we are welcome to come and do our podcast live from his booth. So that is one of the relationships we're building this year. So that's a big thing this weekend. And then I should be feeling better in a week or two, to be able to go to like a Friday Night Lights
Okay.
at Polaris, because that's really the only time they do the community WOD or like the community open stuff is Friday night.
Okay. So my question is can you go to the gym and just say hi to everybody, get out in public?
Yeah. So I've been talking to Christy and Patrick. They actually paused my membership for me just so I didn't have to pay for the time that I couldn't be there. But I'm sure they would welcome me over there to say hi.
I think you should, but that's what I'm saying. I think that you should go and break the ice. You're not going to work out. You're there just to move around, stretch, maybe help people out with some judging, and just say, hey, I can't wait to come back and see everybody. I think that would be really good for you.
Yeah.
And
again, I'll know way more tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's been really hard to stand for long periods of time.
Yeah. I'm not telling you that to stay there for 2 hours, but like, how far is the gym from you? 10 minutes?
5 minutes.
Yeah. Go there for your noon class just to say hi. Go there at 4:30. And I'm just stopping by to say a quick hi. I know it's normally Friday Night Lights. I'm on my way to dinner. Just wanted to say a quick hi. Pop in.
And just so you know, Corey, I don't take my camera to Polaris. I really separate what I do at Polaris from my podcast.
Yeah.
I don't ever take a camera there. I've used it as a backdrop a couple times in the past, but never like do I go there for content.
Agreed. I think it's good for you. But all right. Well, I think that we're in a good spot going into this week. Like honestly, tomorrow I just want to hear how everything goes at the doctor. So keep
Me too.
posted. So you'll probably be done by noonish.
I would think so.
I would think
The
that'd probably
procedure's less than an hour.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I'll be done I'll probably be in recovery by 10, and hopefully home by noon.
All right. Well, cool. We'll keep us posted.
And Kenneth, Wad Zombie, I would be all down for a collab t-shirt of Wad Zombie and Clydesdale Media. That would be really cool.
I feel like the Wad Zombie Clydesdale collab t-shirt would be epic. I just feel like Wad Zombie would come up with something really freaking cool. Really cool.
And if I feel good tomorrow afternoon, I am interviewing Ariel Lowen.
Oh, cool.
So if you want an update tomorrow noon at 3:30 Eastern time, Ariel Lowen, she's a friend of mine. So she's like the perfect person to kind of interview right after all this goes on. So
awesome.
Because it's super laid back and not high pressure with her.
Awesome. All right. Well, I think that we've got some work to do this week. Hopefully, the doctors have some work to do with Scott this week. We don't have work to do. Hopefully everything goes well. You will be in my prayers tonight. I have been praying a lot. It's been very helpful.
Thank you. And a lot of people have sent me prayers, wishes, everything, man. And I can't tell you. I got a card today from Lana Marcine, one of my favorite people in the CrossFit space. Like the outpouring has been amazing. Nick sent me a sleep apnea machine. Like
shit.
Everybody has been so cool. Awesome. I love you all. You're amazing.
Yeah. Good crew.
With that, we'll let you go for tonight. We will see everybody next time on the Clydesdale Media Weight Loss Journey. Bye, guys.
Bye.